Hey everybody, my name is Aiden Mattis, this is Aiden Thornbury, and welcome back to the Lore Lodge official podcast, which we said we were going to rename 2 months ago and then didn't. Aiden and I are both currently suffering for a number of reasons. None of them are sickness, and all of them were simply physical mistakes that we made over the weekend.
Well, yours were mainly physical. Mine was just busyness.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess he's just tired because but it is what it is. I, on the other hand, the entire right side of my body is, as our nurse friend described it, I don't love the way that looks. So, and if you're wondering what happened, all we did was go snowboarding. Mm-hmm. If you can call what I did snowboarding.
Well,
it was mostly falling down a mountain.
So let's clarify. We went with the intent. I have snowboarded since middle school, and I have all my stuff. But
you are about to hear some Elk Mountain slander.
Yeah, I've gone there almost every year since middle school. It's up until recently been a fun time. This wasn't that great of a time.
It was not.
I mean, with the people, it made it good, and we made it fun. But so we went with the intention of Aiden borrowing some of our friends' things and then renting the rest. How long were you in line?
We should of course give a time scale here. So we left here around 10 a.m. Got gas, grabbed some breakfast. Forgot to get liquor, which was the first mistake of the day.
Yes.
But point being, so we hit the road. It's about 2.5 hour drive, 2 hours 23 minutes. So we get up to Elk Mountain, and we get squared away, figure out where everybody is, and then we go to the rental line, which did not look that long. I mean, it was maybe 10 yards.
No, it was like 30 or 40.
Inside?
Not
like
inside.
Outside.
Yeah, outside.
You think it was that long? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have terrible depth perception, apparently. But anyway, it felt like, shit, we're going to stand in line for half an hour. We got in line at 12:45. And I got up to the front and was finally able to rent stuff at 2:30.
You'd think that he had just gotten in line for King Dakar on opening day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Interestingly, the people next to us in line were also from Phoenixville. So we're all kind of complaining and whatever, and bemoaning the situation. Like, a lot of people only buy a 4-hour pass. If you spend 2 hours in line, you're losing half your day. Also, by the time we got to the front, they were out of boots in sizes 10, 11, and 12. So basically, that's probably 80% of men. And they ran out of rental helmets. And rather than being apologetic or offering discounts or a refund, the workers at Elk Mountain Ski Resort, is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. Decided to belittle the people in line and tell us that if we really cared about, the sport, we would buy our own stuff and, not deal with renting. We could always go up to the ski shop and buy stuff. And of course, we're all just kind of like, this is not how you treat customers who are frustrated with you not being able to offer the stuff you say you offer. Mm-hmm. I think my favorite was that people who were getting up to the front of the line who had reserved their stuff online the day before, who then proceeded to be told that placing an order online and paying online did not guarantee that they would actually hold gear for you. So
that's a detail I did not
hear.
Yeah,
so there were people who had paid online, who had made reservations for everything, who were being turned down for gear because they didn't actually hold any of it for the people who paid beforehand. After that point, Aiden was supposed to teach me how to snowboard, but Aiden and I had to share a helmet, so we had to go up at different times. Our friend Wade tried, but he doesn't snowboard.
So to give context to that a little bit before he tells you his experiences on the mountain, I had done a few runs with a couple of our other friends, and I had come in. I was going to get lunch anyway because I was extremely hungry, and he came up, and I learned the information from him. And I knew Wade was going back, and I was like, well, just use my helmet. Go for a few runs with Wade, and a little more context here. So the previous weekend, I had gone on a ski trip with a different friend group of mine, and one of the members of that group had never snowboarded before. They'd done it once in a backyard, and they had surfed a bit and stuff like that. And
which is point for point my experience.
Yeah, and he just by the time the day was over, he was doing, for those of you who aren't familiar with snowboarding or skiing, there's 4 categories of types of essentially run on a mountain. There's green, blue, black, double black. You rarely ever see double black on the East Coast. It's mostly on the West Coast, or I don't know about Vermont and New Hampshire, but at least down here in PA, you don't get a lot of double blacks. But it's essentially easiest, intermediate, hard, and then
dangerous.
And then dangerous, yeah.
That is the word I would use, having looked at a single black.
Yes. So by the end of the day, that other friend of mine who had never snowboarded before was doing blacks with us.
Was this Pat?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
No,
I would have expected it to be Pat.
No. Pat snowboarded for many years
That
now.
also makes sense, though.
Yeah. So going into this weekend, knowing he was in similar circumstances.
To be clear, did he have somebody showing him how to do it?
He's kind of one of those people that's just like, no, I got it, and just kind of would like go for it.
Yeah.
But he also, he's, he was a lifeguard this summer, so he's still like, I don't know, very
in shape.
Yeah. But anyway, so going into this weekend, I had very similar thoughts for him. So we were like, because our one friend who's a ski racer and stuff like that was recommending the Bunny Hill, where a couple of our other friends were existing.
I was told I was too shiny.
The shininess is more about the. All right. Anyway,
we'll see how it looks. How's it look?
Let us know.
It looks fine.
Looks a little. Yeah, we're fine. All right. Anyway, so Wade and I were like, you don't have to do the Bunny Hill. Just do a green. Start out on a green. You'll be fine.
I should enter into the record at this point that I am deathly afraid of heights.
Yeah. So there's that. There's also I didn't really put the pieces together as well as that. The previous weekend, the mountain we were on, it was actual snow, and I forgot how much steeper Elk's runs are.
Yeah. In
comparison to the other mountain. And I wasn't really thinking about those details at the time. So keep in mind, previous weekend, snow, it was snowing at the time, so it was fresh, it's a little slower, things like that. Less steep, runs, essentially, even for the greens. They were a lot, more sloped than these ones. And at Elk that weekend, it was obviously steeper terrain, and it was about half an inch of sleet on top of ice.
Yeah.
It's difficult for even experienced riders, depending on the run that they were doing.
And our friend Wade does not snowboard.
No, he's a skier. So I send him off with my helmet, just so focused on my food, thinking he'll take him on a green, he'll be fine, like my friend the previous weekend. And the story continues.
Yeah, so we get on the lift, and immediately there's some problems, because getting on the lift, they actually had to stop it because I was unable to finagle myself into the proper position.
That's the first red flag.
So in the way to do that, my leg bent such that had it bent much further, I would have torn my MCL.
Nice.
Yeah, we get on the lift, and we get up these. It's what, 1,000 feet in elevation?
Maybe, might be a little bit more.
From the lodge up to the top of the mountain.
I'm curious.
And I'm just looking down. I'm scared of heights, so I'm looking down. I'm like, this is horrible. I hate this. We go to get off the lift up at the top, and I manage to scooch myself off. I stand on the board. I'm ready to slide down the hill a little bit and figure it out. And immediately the chair whips around and nails me right in the ribs. For context, I've broken these ribs 3 times.
Yeah, not great.
So it did not feel great. We start going down the slope after I eventually get strapped into my board. And my boots were a size too small because that's all they had. So my feet were cramping up the entire time. And all of my experience with going down a hill rapidly comes from longboarding. And when you're longboarding, the way you stop yourself is usually that you will kind of lean back and lean forward and kind of go in an S shape down the hill. And if you really, really need to slow down suddenly, you carve the board so it's perpendicular to the route, and you put your hand behind you, and you kind of slow yourself down with your hand as a brake. And that's why a lot of longboarders will wear a very tough wrist brace or very tough gloves. So that's what I was doing, but that doesn't really work on ice. So I just kept falling back to slow myself down and immediately losing my balance and barrel rolling several times before eventually coming to a stop. And during one of those times, my knee hit the ground so hard that I couldn't properly move it at more than like a 10-degree angle for the rest of the day.
Also, just a quick note for those who do snowboard and generally know this, or for those who don't, the end position of longboard stopping for really wanting to stop is the correct way to stop on a snowboard. It was the transition thing you were trying to do that was screwing you.
Where I was trying to kick the board out to be perpendicular, and I just couldn't get it down.
Yeah.
Kept falling down the mountain, and eventually I hit a point where I'm just like laying there. It's probably the last 100 yards before the end.
Yeah.
And I'm just laying there like getting my bearings, and this girl skis up, couldn't have been more than 6 or 7, looks down at me and goes, "Hey mister, are you okay?" And I'm like, all right, I'm done. At that moment, my spirit broke. Everything within me that was certain that, you know, I could pick this up, that I could do this, gone.
Yeah.
And I decided I would take like an hour or two and try and recoup, and by the time it was ready to try one last run, I just could not. My knee just wasn't having it.
Yep.
Thought maybe we'd try the next day, but...
Well, and we did confirm that, you know, within the next few weeks or so, before the end of the season, we'll go out, just the two of us, with all of the proper equipment, and I'll take him on some greens and stuff, and we'll...
And this time I'll bring the GoPro.
Yeah.
And then you'll get to see me learn to snowboard.
Yes.
Or you'll get to see me barrel roll a whole bunch of times.
I think either way.
Either way, you'll be entertained.
Yes.
I will not be on X Games mode. I will perhaps be on Wii Sports mode.
There we go. Wii Sports Resort.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's not really the subject of today. I think we'll talk really quickly about the other aspect of that trip, and then get into the actual meat and potatoes of the episode.
Real quick, Mitchell says, "Trust me, snowboarding will be like walking within a couple more days of boarding," and I agree with him. It doesn't take long.
I hope so. The other problem is that I have a bad gauge for how fast I'm going, and tend to psych myself out thinking I'm going much faster than I am.
Yeah.
But that also comes from longboarding, where going 15 miles per hour is somewhat unsafe, especially because of how a road, it has gravel on it, and you know, you're more likely to, after 50 miles an hour on a longboard, you're definitely taking some unnecessary risks.
Yep.
Snowboarding, you can probably hit 25 or 30 and be fine.
Oh, you can hit faster than that.
But I mean, like, without being like, I don't know. My point here is like, I've just got to get better at gauging my own speed. But the second part of our trip was we drove a little out of our way to go down to Centralia, Pennsylvania, which, as we learned while there and doing more research about it, 4 years ago would have been a really fun trip.
Yes.
There were places where the highway had cracked open and you could see down into a burning coal mine that has been burning since 1962. There was a highway covered in graffiti, and we thought at least, like, we knew that some of this stuff had been demolished or rerouted or like closed off, but we thought we could at least like catch a glimpse of something. Unfortunately, we really didn't get much. We'll still do a video about the history of the region and everything, because we did actually, you know, see some pretty important stuff out there that I just want to use our platform to talk about. But
it went less from a story about a burning town to the story of
dying towns
across America,
especially in the Appalachian region.
Yeah.
So that video, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's gonna be a good video. I'm looking forward to it. We got some really good footage. But it's kind of going to be depressing.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and think of a fundraiser or something we can set up to kind of go in tandem with that. I'll talk to Isaiah and see if he's got any ideas, because he is Mr. Appalachia.
Yeah. I'm sure there's stuff that exists.
Yeah. But we, you know, the story behind that town is pretty cool. Just to briefly go over it. Somehow in 1962, someone accidentally set fire to a anthracite coal strip. And because this area was filled with bootleg coal miners who were doing this illegally, there were a lot of tunnels under Centralia that weren't really known about or properly closed off from the public, and that all connected to each other in many ways. So rather than being snuffed out, because of all of the open, unknown mine entrances everywhere, this fire has a constant supply of oxygen, and theoretically will continue burning until it burns through all of the coal, which could take 200 years. And what's even more fascinating, they did not discover the mine fire until 1981. It was burning for 19 years before anybody realized, oh shit, there's a fire underneath this town. So they kind of like
wild stuff, man.
And do you want to know the reason they found it out? Some kids were playing in their backyard, and a sinkhole opened up and swallowed one of the kids. He was actually able to hang on. I think it was his brother managed to pull him out, but they basically called in the authorities, and they went around and were like, "Oh, yeah, there's like serious problems with the ground under this town. Subsidation, I think it's called subsidiation.
That sounds right."
Where basically a sinkhole could open up at any time, and that's why there's so many closed off areas. Pennsylvania tried to claim the entire town through eminent domain. The residents initially fought as a whole, but lost that case, and then some individual residents, about 7 of them, managed to get a stay that would allow them to stay on the property until they died, at which point their properties would be reclaimed by the state and demolished, which is what we found was the case with most of the structures in what had at one point been a town of several hundred people.
Yep.
Everything was just vacant lots and driveways that led to nowhere. It was very like post-apocalyptic, but not in the exciting Hollywood way, more in the this is a tragedy way.
Yep.
And there were some interesting shots that we were able to get. You got a pretty cool shot of the wind turbines that have gone up on the mountain right behind one of the old coal plants.
Yep.
So just a very interesting place, and we'll get into that a little bit more. Also, we learned a lot about the rules and regulations of driving paperwork, because we managed to get through Centralia without being arrested, but we did not make it back to Phoenixville without being pulled over.
We did not.
So we had a very nice officer, Officer Brandt. If you're watching this, thank you. My car has an appointment to get inspected on Wednesday.
There you go.
So we got this, and then we also both have to go to the DMV.
Yeah,
and renew our licenses.
Things to know.
If you're in Pennsylvania, at least.
At least if you're in Pennsylvania, yeah. If you move, you have to update your license within 15 days. Same with your registration. So for those of you who may have moved recently, I have not
renewed my license since I was 20.
Yeah, mine since I was, roughly 2018, whenever that was. So
yeah, so
I've been going to bars with a vertical license.
Yeah, I've been checking IDs at the bar while I have a vertical license in my pocket. Like,
it's pretty funny.
Yeah. So anyway, that was an adventure of a trip. We'll have some pretty cool footage of it, though. We had both a GoPro and a DSLR, so we got a lot of good shots in a lot of different formats.
Very much so.
Should be a good video. But, now that we're at the 7:30 mark, we'll probably be going a little bit longer than 8:30 because we started late.
Yeah, probably 8:45.
Just to let everybody know, in case there's new people, the way we do the show, the first hour is discussion of a topic we've prepared today. That is the Sierra Camp tapes. Which you might be familiar with from the Missing 411 documentaries. And then the last half hour, we take questions, we prioritize super chats, and that is also how we fund the show and keep the lights on. Yep. So if you've got a question and you want it answered, we will get to every single super chat, even if it keeps us here until 11 p.m. Please don't keep us here until 11 p.m.
For the love of God, please.
Although, you know what? I don't know where to be.
I do. Sleep.
Fair enough.
I gotta wake up at 7 to go
Anyway. So that is how we'll do that last half of the show. If you have questions, we'll answer anything that has a $sign or a £sign attached to it. And then if there's time, we will answer as many unpaid questions as we can get to.
The only way you're keeping me here long enough to make me miss working out in the morning is if you can donate enough money for me to pay a personal trainer and a chef. So... trying to get back in shape here, ladies.
But anyway, Aiden, I told you to go watch the Sierra Camp tapes. Did you do it?
No.
I
didn't have time today. I'm sorry.
Oh boy. All right. So
there was no time I could have today.
I will kindly explain to you.
Wonderful.
So what happened is in the 1970s, I can't remember the exact year off the top of my head.
That's fine.
But in the 1970s, a group of campers, hunters and campers, were up at a camp about 8 miles into Sierra Nevada National Forest.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just outside of Yosemite National Park. And they were it's 8 miles of distance and 4,000 feet in elevation change. They actually like take pack horses up there, all that, to this hunting camp that they had set up in the 1950s. And they'd never really experienced anything strange. There was always good hunting around. It was never really a big deal. There are a lot of missing persons cases in Yosemite National Park, just to be clear. It's actually, I think, the national park with the most missing persons cases. Some of those are attributed to a serial killer from, I think, the 80s. So, like, there's, you know...
Oh, well, that, yeah.
But not all of them, obviously. So, they're up there one night, and what they hear out in the woods from their shelter that they had built was what sounded like kind of these strange whooping sounds. So they...
Whooping?
Yeah, like, you know, whoop, whoop, like that.
Okay.
And they started parroting it back and mimicking it. And then what you hear on these tapes is it goes from those whooping sounds to chattering, like gibberish. But the pitchiness of the voices does not match humans. But it also doesn't match any known animals. So what you're hearing is, you know, like stuff like that. Just like going back and forth in ways that human speech just doesn't, like human languages don't work. But at the same time, the interaction was clearly a conversation between at least two somethings out in the woods that were not human. But they were conversing because they were in two different places. There would be call, response, call, response. Uh-huh. And then what was found by people who actually did an analysis of the tapes for fraud was, because they submitted the tape for it. They were like, this is really weird. Just so you know we're not lying, here you go, like analyze it. And what they found was the vocal layering between everything with a camcorder in the 1970s was not something they could have faked. Also, the vocal range displayed by these creatures could not be faked by humans.
Interesting.
Unless they were like highly, highly trained vocalists.
Yeah.
So, and also you're 8 miles into the wilderness, 4,000 feet up. The likelihood that anybody was just up there messing around with a bunch of heavily armed hunters is extraordinarily low. So basically the chance that this was actually just a group of like teenagers who decided to go bug some hunters up in the woods, next to zero.
Okay.
They have it on camera. They have audio. You can kind of see around. You don't ever catch a glimpse of whatever's making the sounds, but you can see where they are, and like you can hear the sounds, and you can hear how they come from this side and they come from this side. There has never been an explanation for this over the past now 50 years. And that is why it was included in Missing 411 The Hunted, is because even though this wasn't a missing persons case, it was so strange and there was such a strong body of evidence to support that there was something out there that they couldn't really ignore it. This couldn't be left out of this whole story, because so many of these cases kind of like dive into like unreasonable explanations. And the kind of the question that comes up here, this is a tape that circulates a ton in the Bigfoot community. People say, oh, well, those are Sasquatches. Like, obviously, you know, they're up there, and if they were the size they are, they would have much deeper, wider vocal ranges, and it all totally makes sense. Which, like, I guess if you're a big Bigfoot believer, that makes sense. You know, and we do know that Neanderthals, due to their bone structure, probably had much higher pitched voices than we do.
Really?
Yeah. So much so their speech would probably have sounded like chirping to us. Yeah. Neanderthals are not nearly as close to human as you might think, but they're also much closer to human than you might think. It's a weird case. I want to have Milo back on to talk about Denisovans and Neanderthals. I already talked to him about it.
Chirping.
Yes.
Like... Really?
Like that.
Wow. Interesting.
I watched a documentary on it a while ago, but they basically had it was the same thing. They had like a trained vocalist come in, and the coach was like, all right, here's like what it looks like. It, you know, speak in this tone. And the guy was reciting it, and it was like very high pitched, very weird, but full voice still.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like falsetto. It was like their full speaking voices would have been higher than our own.
Interesting.
But what they were demonstrating from this tape is that they were like getting lower than humans naturally go, even deep voiced men. And it wasn't just that the tone was lower. It was that when they analyzed the actual like wavelength of the sounds, the frequency itself did not make sense for humans. It just didn't work. Like humans don't make sounds at that low of a frequency and that high of a frequency. It just does not connect.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So, never been an explanation for what the sounds were. And then in 2014, and this is the part that I found super interesting, the Forest Service discovered the camp and had ordered it demolished. Which there is nothing saying it was illegal for them to build a camp.
Yeah.
They all had legal hunting permits. This is by all means they should have been allowed to have a camp constructed. Especially if they were going to the same place every year. They weren't disturbing the nature outside of this very small area. There was no good reason for them to order that camp destroyed, but they did. They still go up there, but more with tents and whatnot. But this is a group of grown men who were avid hunters. They had been in this spot for 20 years, and suddenly one night they're all freaked the hell out, clutching their rifles. And you can hear in the tapes how like concerned they sound.
Yeah.
When they realize when they start to hear the chattering and the gibberish, and they're like, "Wait a second,
yeah,
this isn't an owl. Like this is something's talking out there."
Yeah.
So when you tie that in to all of these mysterious disappearances in the area, and the fact that they were chattering like humans, but at frequencies humans don't talk. And what they were speaking to each other sounded almost like language.
Yeah.
You've got to ask the question, what exactly did these people encounter up here? Bigfoot is far-fetched. Also, the Bigfoot lore that I have done research into does not suggest that, at least the Native American version of it, does not suggest that that's how those things would sound.
Okay.
If they even did speak to you. There's some traditions where they speak to you through telepathy. So it's directly into your mind. In some cases, they speak like humans, and in some cases, they don't speak at all. But I have yet to come across they have a fully developed Sasquatch language that only they communicate in to one another in that form. I have not come across anything yet. I don't know. Maybe there's a legend that I've missed or a tribe that has that. But to my understanding so far, there's nothing of the sort. Because as for anybody who watched our Bigfoot video earlier this week, Bigfoot's an elder brother, a protector figure.
Yeah.
This seems to be something where whatever was making that sound had decided they were in its territory and probably didn't want them there. But at the same time, we're probably too scared to go and approach a group of armed humans.
Yeah.
So what kind of lore goes back to this? Well, obviously there's some of the supernatural stuff that you can talk about. You can talk about the Wendigo. You can talk about the Witchuge, Skinwalkers. Any number of things really. But there's also the wild man theory, which most stories of wild men that you get, documented ones, involve a single person usually, who, for example, there were Confederate deserters who just walked off into the wilderness and were found decades later, still alive, but had been living alone in the wilderness for so long that they almost didn't even resemble people anymore in terms of their mannerisms, their speech, their socialization, just almost inhuman.
Yep.
And so the question about that then is, what if at some point something more than just one guy went out into the wilderness back in the 1800s before this area was settled? And when I talk about feral people and wild men and stuff like that, that's what I'm suggesting is what if, a small party that was going out west, got off track, got lost, got stuck up there, and just for 150 years has been living in the mountains. You would almost certainly see inbreeding. You would almost certainly see a de-evolution of social skills, even of speech patterns, you know, in a short enough period of time. In 150 years, you can like break from English pretty fast.
Yeah.
And that's even assuming that what we're dealing with here is settlers or colonists. These areas are also riddled with caves, and Native Americans from the region for a long time have told of you know, wild tribes that live up on the mountains, not necessarily in this mountain range, but Mount Shasta, which we talked about a few weeks ago. There was a story of Native American wild tribes who lived under the mountain and on the mountain and near the mountain. Not too far-fetched to suggest it could be the same in the Sierra Nevadas at all, in my opinion. And when you look into what they experienced here, it really does sound like something human adjacent. It doesn't sound like something paranormal to me. In this case, it sounds like people.
Yeah.
But not quite. And it makes me think of the Nahanni River Valley that we talked about. You know, this area where the natives of the region talk about pale-faced demons who inhabit the land. And, you know, basically, like, how you shouldn't go there. Who's to say that does not occur elsewhere? If that occurred there, it's entirely possible it occurred down in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Down in California. Totally feasible. So, why did the Forest Service have them destroy the camp is my big question here. Aside from the rest of it. Because obviously we're not going to be able to answer any questions here. But why destroy the camp?
I mean, there's the obvious.
The obvious being?
The obvious just being that even if they didn't know, like, let's go under the assumption that they didn't know what was going on, for the sake of argument, to avoid humans or just general people running into weird things they can't explain, and thus having to avoid the issue entirely, it's easier to just shut it down.
Exactly. Because, again, they were not breaking any laws. This was not against park policy. This was simply something they'd been doing for, at this point, 65 years, almost. And at no point had it ever been an issue before.
Yeah.
And suddenly, they stumble upon the camp, and they're like, oh, well, this has to go. I don't buy it. I do not buy that. If you and I built a little, like, stick fort up at the top of Mount Misery in Valley Forge, absolutely nobody would care.
No.
Like, nobody whatsoever. So my thinking here is they know something's out there that they can't explain. Able to keep it under wraps enough. People go missing. It happens. But when there's video and audio evidence of something that can't be explained, then suddenly they got to take a little bit more drastic measures.
Yeah.
And I think that is the reason for demolishing the camp. I think that it had nothing to do with legality, nothing to do with hunting, nothing to do with conservation, and everything to do with discouraging people from returning to that area, because the worst case scenario for the feds is that people go up to that area, something tries to take somebody, and they survive.
Yeah.
Which, if it's a bunch of hunters, chances are they're probably making it out.
Yeah.
One or two might not, but what if, you know, put yourself in the government's shoes, in the National Forest Service shoes. If a bunch of hunters, keep in mind they demolished it in 2014, if a bunch of hunters go up there, they've all got iPhones. They've all got cameras. They've all got Instagram, Facebook, everything. They can immediately post about this stuff the second they get back to civilization. They cannot contain that. So, better to just demolish the camp, Because I don't believe they didn't know about the camp. These people were going up there every year for 60 years. And you're going to tell me they didn't know about the camp? That nobody ever, asked, no ranger ever asked where they were going?
Yeah.
No. Somebody definitely knew.
Mm-hmm.
They kept it under wraps because, it was a private camp. It's fine. Also, it's not like they were doing anything wrong. They didn't, these guys wouldn't even drink while they were up there. They'd have a beer or two.
Yeah.
But they were not, up there starting, bonfires and getting shit-faced. They were being responsible.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm just zooming in Yosemite, just taking a look, see if there's anything.
But important points here: video and audio evidence, analyzed, can't be fake, not normal human being sounds, not a known human language, and the camp was demolished in 2014 on the orders of the National Forest Service without explanation for why.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't track for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's on top of all of the times that the federal government, when it comes to this kind of thing, has failed to present their documentation from a FOIA request or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't buy it.
It's understandable, yeah.
So,
excuse me.
My take on this is the same as it always is with this kind of stuff. I feel like there has to be something out there that we're not supposed to know about.
Yeah. That
they're worried about us finding out about. And my question is, if it's people, why?
Well, I mean, you could ask the same question in terms of, the Dennis Martin case.
Mm-hmm.
If it's people, then why?
I think there's a pretty simple answer.
Yeah. It's
not people.
Well, yeah, that's definitely one of them.
And it's not normal wildlife either.
Well, certainly. I mean, that definitely makes a good option in this scenario with such weird variables.
But also, there are other things that don't match, though. If it's just a bunch of feral people,
mm-hmm.
like humans who broke off the evolutionary tree at some point in the, near past.
Yeah.
Even if it's just within the past 150 years, or if it's in the past 10,000 years.
Mm.
The U.S. military can handle that. Unless they can't. So, if you cordon off the national parks,
mm-hmm.
cordon off these areas and say you can't go there,
yeah,
that's just inviting investigative journalists to go and figure it out. So what's the best way to hide it? Well, you hide it in plain sight. You create a system of beautiful national parks where people can go,
mm-hmm.
and if you draw enough people to those places, nobody's going to notice if a couple of them go missing.
Yeah.
Especially if you really do put your whole National Forest Service USI into that search.
You just had to.
I had to. I couldn't
really
help it.
to.
Yeah, that's my bad. But anyway, point being, it reeks of cover-up. And the implication here is kind of insane.
Yeah.
And when you look at where these missing persons cases overlap with mines and caves, I mean, at what point do you look at, the Descent movies and go, maybe that's not fiction? Maybe that's possible.
Yeah.
A small enough population that's omnivorous can absolutely survive in the caves. And I made him listen to Ted the Caver on the way to Centralia.
It's a long podcast.
It's a long story, but
I mean, it's a good one.
But this was the reason I made you listen to it.
Yeah,
was because for anybody who doesn't know, Ted the Caver is a story about going into a cave and encountering something that should not be in that cave. The Descent, very similar plot.
Yes.
So, it's just I'm one of those people who I look at it and I so want to understand what's going on and I want to go looking, but at the same time I know how bad an idea that is.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but at the very least, there are questions that need to be answered about this kind of thing. Like this is one of the few cases, and it's the reason I decided to spend a whole episode on it is there's really no denying there's something out there from this one. Like something was up in those mountains with them, having a conversation, and the government has simply refused to investigate it, or if they have investigated it, it's been total black ops. Like no reports, nothing shared with the public.
Yeah. Nothing that we could have access to.
Exactly. So why is that?
I mean, yeah, the evidence points in at least one clear direction.
Mm-hmm. But again, then the question is, why, if we have all the power of the U.S. government, can't we figure out what this is? Are they trying to quietly exterminate them, or are they running tests?
How efficient is the U.S. government again?
That's a good point. Well, the military's pretty efficient, but
how high of a priority is a national park?
Yeah, I guess you gotta. That's a valid point, but you know.
I mean, that is, and I say those things only adding credence to the theory of the fact that if there is something like they may have just done the easy way out and say keep everybody out of there and we don't have to deal with it.
But they can't, because people would anyway.
Very
I mean, even like if you look at stuff like Bohemian Grove, like that's ticketed only. That's managed by a private group. How, if something that's not even government can get infiltrated by Alex fucking Jones, like I think maybe the government might have trouble stopping investigative journalism just by saying you're not allowed to do that here.
That's fair.
But there are still areas, and people report these stories all the time, where they'll be walking through a like less trod path in a national park, and out of nowhere, a truck with National Park Service on it rolls up, and 2 rangers hop out with guns and are like, you can't come down this road. Happens often enough to be noticeable, you know?
Interesting.
So I just wonder, you know, at what point does something eventually break? But what's Chiv saying in the chat there?
I don't know. He's talking about something about storms.
Oh, good.
He's according to what Becca is responding with. Apparently, he's just being as like vague as glass now. Becca also said we should go to Penn's Caves, and I'm assuming that means around Penn State. Yeah, I was gonna say he's not a big fan of caves. Also, somebody asked who's the Ric Flair of the two of us.
I don't know how to answer that question.
Neither do I. I had to look up Ric Flair to make sure that I knew who you were talking about.
Like a wrestler?
The short synopsis is, but I don't know if there's a different implication, because of the implication. Rick Morgan Flair, also professionally known as Ric Flair, is an American professional wrestling manager and retired professional wrestler, regarded by multiple peers and journalists as the greatest professional wrestler of all time. Flair had a career that spanned almost 40 years. Keep in mind, by professional wrestler, it means somebody who was in the WWE.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know how to answer that question. I don't think either of us are the Ric Flair of the two of us.
Yeah, I don't know what it's supposed to mean. That's the thing. I'm just gonna say I'm Randy Savage. Just cause.
When it comes to the WWE, I am John Stossel. I am the guy getting punched in the face for saying it's fake.
He got punched in the face for saying it's fake.
The exact response, it was literally, so like, how do you deal with the claims that that WWE wrestling is fake? And I forget which wrestler it was, but he just turns around and just cold, like, clocks John Stossel and goes, did that seem fake? And you're like, I don't think that's how this works. Like, Aidens, do you support abolishing the IRS? The list of government organizations I don't support abolishing is much shorter than the list of government organizations I support abolishing.
David Schultz was the one who slapped him.
Yes. So was actually WWF at the time. Oh, are you? Is WWF
As soon as I did that, I realized what the implication was.
Because of the implication.
Because of the implication.
Yeah.
The void requests, souls, and mac and cheese. I can't have mac and cheese for a while.
All right. Why?
I'll just let them decide.
You're just gonna let them decide why you can't have mac and
I'm
cheese for a while?
I'm gonna let them think of why I might not be able to have mac and cheese for a while. Everybody's really just going after the void here.
Yeah, the void is really
Void's not even here to defend itself either.
Yeah, all right. That's a weird statement. It's a weird series of words.
I wonder. So I love doing a thing where
is this cheese?
I question if something has ever been said before. And I love encountering sentences that most likely have never been said before.
Why is there ancient cheese on the table?
I think that the statement, the void is not even here to defend itself. I have a feeling that may, if it has been used, it's been very minimally, but that may have been a statement that has never been said before. And I think those are fun when you come across them. But yeah.
As a tax preparer, I 100% agree with Mattis about abolishing a majority of our government agencies.
As a tax preparer, what is that?
It's somebody who does taxes for people.
Ah.
Yeah. So, basically like TurboTax, but IRL.
Vinny, I might need your help. We might need your help.
Don't say anything. Say nothing on record.
Fair enough.
But yeah, before we go to super chats, I just want to make some final points about the caves issue and about the feral people issue. I'm not saying that there's absolutely tribes of feral people living out there. It's just I think the question is worth asking, and at the same time, that should not be conflated with the situations of like extraordinarily impoverished families out in the Appalachians and regions like that, where it's just lack of access leads to lower IQs and just a snowballing effect over time where you get some people who are in really bad situations. That is not the same thing. That is not what we're talking about. And this is not an excuse to go and, be mean to people because of the circumstances of their birth. I just want to make that explicitly clear. And this is also not to say that anyone who's tribal is feral. Just to be clear, I'm using the term tribe in its actual, defined way, which is an extended familial unit.
Yeah.
So
in the classification way, not the cultural way. Yeah.
So that's just what I wanted to say about that. But when it comes to this stuff, I always have to wonder, and especially when you look at the map of disappearances versus caves. It's too close, and it's not caves that people are going caving in. The people who are going missing are not spelunkers. Mm-hmm. They are hikers. They are hunters. They are people who are not intentionally entering these caves. So it doesn't make sense to say, oh, well, they just wandered into a cave and got lost. No. First of all, you generally don't just wander into a cave. It's pretty difficult to do that. Second of all, they're not people who were going into caves, and often they disappear near a cave, but not in a cave. Mm-hmm. So it seems much more likely that if the body is not found and the person just straight up disappears, it happened because something dragged a person into a cave.
Yeah.
And if you watch the Descent movies, obviously those are a little far-fetched with the level of divergence from what is, human, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's beyond questioning that sort of issue. Because if 10,000 years ago a bunch of people, decided they were going to go live in caves and only came out at night to hunt for some reason, then 10,000 years later, it would be very possible that they would have different morphology than standard human beings, that their vocal ranges would be different, that their languages would be different, and that, you would have something bordering on a different species.
I do enjoy the fact that when I said I'll let them decide, they did in fact
decide. What did they decide?
Multiple options. One was that the Winn-Dixie forbids it. One was sudden lactose intolerance.
I like that one.
Yeah,
that's a pretty funny condition.
I wasn't taking your job, Shiv. I saw other people contributing. I thought we were allowed to contribute as well. I guess I was wrong. The void is the map pretty much lines up with where the Winchester brothers would hunt, aka the Midwest. Fair. Is it super chat time?
It is super chat time.
It's super chat time. I don't know why, but in my head for the past 5 minutes, I guess I'm just really tired because I've just had the thing from the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie, just as Jack Sparrow was walking along. I've got a jar of dirt, I've got a jar of dirt, and guess what's inside it? And then he falls, and then he gets up, and he's like, got it! I don't know why. That's just kind of been in there.
I think we should also, it is a new month, which means new donation goals.
Yes.
So if you have suggestions, go ahead and shoot them. I'm still thinking of stuff, but my mind is dead.
Yeah, welcome to the club. We still have to do the...
oh, yeah, I've got the list of stuff we've got to do, and we're doing it this month.
Yeah. The Wendigo cocktail is going to be fun.
I've got some ideas for like 3 of them. I think that's enough, but we can talk. But one's got to be Wendigo milk. I think one's got to be Wendigo Hunter's like cocktail that like goes in a flask. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking that's gonna be something with bourbon in it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Real quick, so Captain Alien for $20 gave us the first super chat. Thank you very much. He says, in honor of the lodge, I shall embark on a noble quest to Yosemite. Noble quest to find what? The search goes on. That's one of my favorite TikTok trends. Be careful. Good luck. Glass Water for $5 says, this will be my final donation. I no longer support the channel.
What? And such a horrible man. Thornberry, she spelled your name last wrong. Mattis, I hope you find peace. It's a very, very odd statement.
Not sure what that means, but I appreciate the love.
Is this because I don't like the IRS?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Do you
want to explain Super Chat time for those?
Moving swiftly along. We already explained Super Chat time.
Did we?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Captain Alien for 20. How much to bleach your hair and dye the tips red?
Oh, God, man. I'm not dyeing the hair again. Dyeing the hair was such a painful, painful process.
Was it really?
Just of experiencing life as a blonde man. As a frosted tips blonde man in the year 2022. Woo! That's a big one. What does that say?
That's from Kellen Data for $99.99. Thank you. With all the PA talk, any chance of a collab with regular car reviews? Also,
one of the goals you have to pronounce everything as wrong as possible for a stream. I like that.
Wait, hang on. Also, if there is something in your forest, what are your thoughts on that? You can target shoot in the national forest, but in only the last 9 years, are we able to even carry in the national parks?
Depends on the national parks.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about firearm regulation, specifically in terms of national parks. So I'm not sure.
I don't know if I can incorrectly pronounce the entire stream.
Who said incorrect?
It was Rebecca Felgate. So we'll try. I think we'll just pick an accent.
I have a hard enough time pronouncing things correctly.
If the word is obfuscation, I'm gonna get it wrong 8 times out of 10. Although I'm getting better.
I can talk in an Irish accent for the rest of the stream.
Or we can talk in an Irish accent, can't we?
I believe we can.
Oh, that would be a good stream. We should do that.
I'm ready.
I'm not ready to do it right now, and I need a little bit more experience, a little bit more practice. Also, we were supposed to be learning Irish.
Right. Well, it's not as hard as you think to do the Irish accent. So.
Fair enough.
You'll get there.
But yes, we'll have that be the 250, which we're already gonna hit. But what was the one up there from
That's the
Kellen?
one.
What does it say? I didn't quite hear.
Kellen Data for $99.99. Excuse me.
Thank you. Thank you
with
so much.
all the PA talk, any chance of a collab with regular car reviews? Also, if there is something in the forest, what are your thoughts on that you can target shoot in the national forests, but in only the last 9 years? Are we even capable to carry in the national parks? You would know that better than I would.
Yeah, so it depends on the park, for sure. Generally, the best practice with that is to call the park and ask. Sometimes you don't need any permit at all. Sometimes you need a valid concealed carry permit. Sometimes you need a specific permit issued by the Park Service. So it really depends. the key here would be contacting the park and asking what the regulations are.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Valley Forge National Park, you're allowed to open or conceal carry armed, to my understanding, as long as you have a concealed carry permit. They ask that you are responsible and don't scare people, but at the same time you're allowed to carry. I don't know how it would be in national parks in New York. It probably varies by state more than it does by park.
I just read the next super chat, and I think it's very entertaining. Captain Alien for $5, thank you very much, says, but while I was working today, I realized you look like Johnny Test. And I'm all here for that.
Listen, if the feedback I was getting was you look like Johnny Test, I might have kept it. But the feedback I was getting was not you look like Johnny Test. The feedback I was getting was like, it was just not that. I was having a lot of trouble with first-time interactions with people.
Oh, jeez.
It did make me a lot more recognizable, I will say that.
Where? Put that
Every sentence in a different accent. Jeez.
Also, Becca, you assume that we are good at doing the Midwestern accent, which is...
Oh, dear.
Jeez, man, I don't know how good... That just sounds like
That's
Morty.
just Morty, yeah.
Jeez, Rick, I don't know if I'm ready to do all these different accents.
Oh, not today. Just not today.
Not today.
Not today, buddy. You're making me real sad.
Well, gee, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was really...
Y'all heard of the night crawlers in California? Yes, actually. Wasn't one of the goals for Mattis to have blue hair last month? I don't think so. I'll tell you what. You guys hit 1,000, and I will do the blue hair again.
The blue again?
Again, I'll do the blue hair. We'll put that at 1,000 because it's a short month, and I'm not keeping them this time.
Y'all ain't touching this. Just saying.
All right. Yes, I have heard of the Fresno night crawlers. Here's the thing. I watched through the footage. I looked through the local Native American folklore as well as the local settler folklore. I found absolutely nothing that was actually attested.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that there's actual, writing about it from a long time ago, or at the very least oral tradition. Nothing up until the actual incident where there were a couple of videos of what appear to be just giant pairs of pants walking down the street. To me, it seems like it was probably something to get newspaper attention.
You just went from Johnny Chest to Jimmy Neutron. What the hell happened?
Yeah, it was kind of funky. Oh God, the Blue Hair Club.
Yeah,
Becca.
Hammond for $2 says
blood for the blood god.
Blood for the blood god. Well, right then.
To clarify, I meant that why easier to protect yourself in one versus the other. Wait, hang on. Go back up and read that.
Hair chalk is a thing.
Okay, let me read through that. With all the PA talking, I will look into regular car reviews. Never heard of that.
I will keep my beginnings of Europe.
That sounds much more like something Aiden would be best for, though. If there is something in the forest, what are your thoughts on that you can target shoot in the national forest, but only in the last 9 years? Are we even able to carry in the national parks? I'm a little confused by the wording, but if the question is... why easier to protect yourself in one versus the other? The national forests versus the national parks, I think is what they're saying. Okay, yeah. So national parks generally don't have you can't hunt in them. National forests, on the other hand, very often do have hunting permits available. So I think that's part of it. Is also you're allowed to. A lot of them have public gun ranges that you can go to practice shooting, but it's mostly just because national forests tend to allow hunting. National parks don't. So there's a little bit more leeway with guns. And then, national parks, it depends, but I think it's more, I think that's more of just a function of what the actual function of the land is. National forests, hunting grounds, national parks, just for adventuring.
Have you ever tried bear?
I've never eaten bear, no.
It is really good.
All right. Well,
I had some for the first time last week. It is surprisingly good.
Come on, guys, get a trunk full of fake government badges.
We're getting there. We've already got the black muscle car. It's just a matter of putting it to use properly. Regular car reviews is awesome. If you would love to do car stuff with Tech Aiden, if you guys are ever in the Harrisburg area over the summer, I have a shop if the Camaro needs work. Ooh. Message me on Discord. Yeah, as of right now, it doesn't need work, but there's not really a lot of...
For $1, you have to abolish the IRS. Done.
Easier said than done.
For $500, I will run as a write-in candidate in our local municipal elections.
You would do that for free.
That's true.
Have you heard of the Walgren Lake Monster in Nebraska's one Crypto fan? I literally read this purely to make the pun that I haven't heard of that, but I have been to Walgreens.
Here, for $500, I'll actually record and make available on Spotify the conspiracy theory song.
The what?
The conspiracy theory song.
The what?
I made a cover of Good Riddance by Green Day, but it's about conspiracy theories. So I will actually record it.
I'd like to be there when you do.
You can help.
Perfect. That was my hope and my goal.
There we go. So that's the $500 goal.
If you can figure out
we
what
do need to
chords
figure
I
out
was
what we're
mimicking,
doing for $750.
I'll be impressed. I was gonna say road trip, but I don't know to where. Isaiah's been on a hunting trip and he hasn't been home in a few days.
Road trip to Tennessee. Woot woot.
That'd be funny.
Let's see.
Hammond for $2 says you can barely taste the difference. Come on, man.
You know what? Here, keep them occupied for a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit in his chair for a little while.
Why?
Just to really mess with the whole experience. Yeah. Is this hurting your brains yet? Yeah, no. Bear was pretty cool. It tastes like sausage. I don't know if they put spices in it when they were preparing it, but it was really good. Like you'd think, but yeah, really good.
We'll see how much of this I can actually remember because I wrote it a while ago.
Are we gonna get demonetized if you do that?
Probably not. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. Alright, so yeah. Anyway, so basically,
to have a guitar in my hand.
Yeah.
Because it's been 3
it
hours.
essentially goes. Fuck. Oh,
You did.
that's out of tune.
You also even did the.
Accidentally.
Yep. What is it? G, C at 9 and what? D?
Yeah. So anyway, the conspiracy song basically goes. If the guitar would be in tune. What's even out of tune right now? What the hell?
It's just not in tune. That sounds more-ish in tune. Oh, you're close enough.
Well, what is it though? Now it's bothering me. Anyway, point being, it's like. Another conspiracy, let's see where this one goes. Will it be aliens or Garth or maybe clones? I can't remember where it goes from there. But I wrote that. It's on TikTok. Point being, it's like, it's a song about conspiracies. And for $500, I'll actually bother to sit down and record it. Because we know how much I hate recording music. Absolutely despise it. But, you know.
Really?
Oh, God, I hate recording music. It's one of my least favorite things to do.
Really? Since when?
What do you mean? I've never liked it.
I didn't know that. Why?
I like writing and I like playing. I hate recording.
Why?
I'm such a perfectionist about it that whenever I sit down to record music, I'm just like, no. Didn't like that. Didn't like that one strum.
That'll do it. I love how everybody's just like simping over Yaski right now.
That's valid. That's fair.
Yeah, for very good
point.
reason.
Yeah. And of course, you're gonna sit there and play John Mayer. I really hope the microphone doesn't pick it up because if we play more than 30 seconds of something, we're gonna get We're going to have to share revenue. I don't want to do that.
That was 10 seconds. So I think
I invented a car that only moves when the driver is silent. It goes without saying.
Nice. I
Damn
do
it.
like that. Another turn.
Tech Aiden, no offense meant by calling you a himbo last live.
Who said that?
Traveling bard.
Oh, no offense taken. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, boy.
I take it as a compliment, even if it's not meant to be.
Maybe we should try and go back to doing the Jam Time streams after the show. But not tonight, because
Not tonight.
I am so tired.
Maybe like once a month.
Yeah, maybe once a month.
I have too many things going on. For those of you who are in this and also nonsense time, guys, I'm like live on the internet like almost every night of them. And now we got other things going. So
Yep.
I'm gonna be live on the internet like 5 nights a week. For somebody who has no interest in being famous, this is a weird schedule to have.
It is a weird schedule to have. But
Not saying that I ever would get famous, but for somebody who doesn't want to, it seems like I'm trying to be.
well, I mean, you're on this enough. I think you might count.
No, no way.
But
I only equate fame with.
see, I gotta
followers.
disagree with Queen Rebecca here. I prefer Yaskier to Dandelion.
Yeah,
I just feel like Dandelion just feels too on the nose.
yeah.
Even though Yaskier means dandelion,
Yaster just sounds cool.
it just sounds better. Yeah, I don't know. I just naming characters after like plants or animals just kind of comes across as like, I don't know. It makes the symbolism a little bit too on the note. Like like if you have a character who's like kind of like salty and curmudgeony, and you name him Halwyn, which is Welsh for salt, that's clever.
Hmm?
I like that. But if you just name the guy like Salty Steve, doesn't hit the same.
Salty Steve. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, they do miss the frosted tips. Well,
Thank you, Iz.
hit that $1,000 goal, and I will dye them blue. Apparently, the tapes are very strange. I highly recommend everybody go and watch them. Very, very weird series. But also I just figured, since it was mentioned, we are going to be launching another show. That's going to be the first and third
Oh yeah.
Thursday of every month. That is going to be more of a casual talk show.
Do we have a name for it yet?
I have not decided.
The Lore Lads?
That's what I was considering.
Might as well.
The Lore Lads. That will involve a couple of our other friends, and that'll be kind of just a show about growing up, basically.
Yeah.
We're planning on literally just talking about being in your mid-20s, and what that's like.
Queen Rebecca, if you like the name Salty Steve so much, why don't you name your pigeon that?
Pigeon?
I was just going with a very obscure pet because I thought it'd be interesting. Yeah. You'll need to read the books. They're amazing. What, for
The Witcher, probably?
Probably, yeah.
What do you call Indian bread that's too small? Nonsense. Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that works. I believe it. I buy it.
I would say Indian bread that is confusing would make more sense for nonsense.
Ah, her main issue is that she plays Skyrim and she gets it mixed up with Jorvaskr in pronunciation. I understand. Should I stream Skyrim on Twitch?
You can stream whatever you want on Twitch.
I know, but is it worth the
Why not?
effort to start a new? Yeah, probably. You guys want me to stream Skyrim on Twitch?
It makes more sense to start something new rather than in the middle of whatever you're doing. So that way they can follow the full story.
True. I've got to get every possible mod.
What? Oh, you meant in the game. I thought you meant for the Twitch chat. I'm like...
No, I don't... everyone is a mod. Everyone is a mod.
I was going to say, do you really need that many mods?
No. No.
Yeah, they're saying do it. Read Ranger's Apprentice books.
The Ranger's Apprentice are so good, dude. I have all of them. Do you want them?
Sure.
Okay, they're at my parents' house, but I will collect them for
you.
you.
Should we do another quiz?
Another quiz?
Yeah.
Sure. We got the time. What's
Guys, do you want... Wait, get the Thomas the Tank Engine mod, please?
There's
no way.
Norman had it. It's hilarious.
There's no way.
He turns all the dragons into Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh my god, I love that. Should we take the...
I can't play Until Dawn. I don't have a PlayStation.
Is it only PlayStation?
Yeah, it's PlayStation exclusive.
Exclusive.
Hey, you're finally awake.
We could take a Witcher character quiz.
True.
That could be cool.
Pull it up.
I'm gonna do this.
How are we gonna both do that?
We'll do one at a time. Okay.
Well, it's still below the webcam source.
That's
so.
fine. We do that.
You hide that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that makes pull it up, I guess.
Yep.
Find one and I'll go do it over here.
Hang on. I'm gonna adjust this. Well, we'll do it one at a time so they can see the questions.
But if we do it at the same time, they're still gonna see the questions. I'm just gonna be over here.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Wait, where's my?
I'm gonna add a different display capture because I want to show this guy, not that guy. Display capture. Add source. This guy. No. This guy. What? Why is it?
What are you doing?
Oh, add a new source instead. Yes.
You give me angst.
Oh yeah, no, that's there we go.
Cause me a considerable
that
deal
guy.
of angst.
All right, let's pop in a new window here.
The Witcher.
Okay.
Character.
Are you guys ready for this? Hang on.
Quiz.
Let's bring you.
Not BuzzFeed, because fuck BuzzFeed.
Let's bring you down here, and then
scuffedentertainment.com. That looks good. Or Unleash the
that's
Gamer.
not what I wanted.
Unleash the Gamer is probably best, right?
I would imagine.
Let's do that.
That's what I wanted. Here we go. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. And then this guy.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the best one.
Size. Whoop. Sorry for the jankiness. Oh, stop moving like that. Sorry for the jankiness, folks. There we go.
All right.
Now we're talking. Which one is it?
It's unleashthegamer.com. The Witcher quiz.
Oh,
Valley of Plenty.
Cool.
Toss a coin to your Mattis.
There we go. All right.
Lore Lodge cover of Burn Butcher Burn for $2.
Burn, Butcher,
we actually have been discussing that. I can't play it.
What do you value the most?
I'm going wits and knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
It won't let me click it though. Like,
welp, that's unfortunate.
it literally won't let me click it. The hell?
Yeah, it's not letting me click them either.
Really?
Yep. Maybe we have to do something up here.
I don't think so.
Don't try too hard. Don't try too hard to get Geralt. Okay, that's funny. All right, let's try a different one because this isn't working.
To howstuffworks.com.
Ooh, where that
It's down the page.
Oh, got you. Okay, cool. Let's check it out.
Oh, this one's game based.
Sure.
Shoulder camera or top down?
Oh, this what?
Top down, duh.
I like OTS.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually,
which game has the best replay value?
I haven't played any of them.
3. Just cause. What's your favorite weapon in The Witcher 3?
See, this is all way too game focused. I can't.
All right,
I can't do this one.
Yeah, I haven't played that much of the game yet. Sorry to disappoint. Watch Thornberry again.
Unfortunately, I think we may
I would not
have
be
to.
offended.
My God, my computer just does not want to be responsive. Let's just do the BuzzFeed one.
Oh no, popular quiz. I'm trying that.
All right.
All right.
Give me a second. This
Good
Mac
luck.
is
Take
slow as all hell.
So is this guy. Who would you most want to travel with?
Which one was it? Popular quiz?
Yeah. Which Netflix series would you binge watch?
Most want to travel with.
This is the only one I've seen, so
Roach, duh.
choose your weapon. You have 3 wishes from a djinn. How would you most likely use them? I just wouldn't really want to use them because don't they like always turn out bad?
I think you and I are getting different questions somehow.
Maybe. How angry do you get? Quite angry. You don't want to find out. I'm always angry. I don't get angry very easily. like ever. You gotta really like push me to the brink to get me angry. Choose a quote that relates to you most. Respect doesn't make history.
Now you're getting the questions I got.
Yeah, whatever you lack in talent, you make up for in confidence. A dynasty can't survive on arrogance alone. I'm supposed to be going towards someone, but instead I'm running from something else. I like that one. I like dynasty can't survive on arrogance alone. Because, like,
I picked the confidence one. How would you describe your personality? Loyal, cunning, kind, brave. I think loyal.
Yeah, probably. Are people ever good or evil, or is there a range? You only one person to hear another. Each person's story is unique. Some are certainly good, while others are certainly not. So, yeah, villain of one person to hear another. It's all about a perspective. Little tangent here. You never really know people. Like, you think you do, but you don't. You only see either, if they're smart enough, what they want you to see, or, essentially manipulative enough. Some people are just genuinely who they are. But the fact of the matter is that you'll never know them fully because you don't spend every waking moment with them. And you also don't get to see inside of their brain.
How angry do you get? See, this is a hard question because I don't usually get angry, but when I do get angry...
Fair enough.
It's like...
How would you describe your personality? Loyal, kind, cunning, brave.
Kind.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
People ever good or evil, or is there a range? Some are certainly good, while others
Which of
are
these
certainly
deadly
not.
sins defines you better? Sloth, envy, greed, pride. Sloth. I am frequently tired. What's your philosophy in life? Might makes right. Life takes you where it needs to be. Only the strong survives. There is good in this world, but you need to look hard to find it. Absolutely the last one. Most people are not great people. Yeah. Which of the below do you value most? Power, freedom, love, fame?
Okay, yes, Becca, I know. You have seen the whole I punched in the wall at Beaver Hill. I understand. I get it.
My bets are Pretty Boy gets Yasker and Mattis either Roach or Besmir if he's in the quiz. That's funny.
Wait, what did she say?
Thornberry is going to be Yennefer and Mattis is going to be Triss. That would be hilarious.
That would be funny.
That'd be amazing.
That would be funny for a lot of reasons.
If I was going to be any of the women on the show, I'd want to be Yennefer, that's for sure. Or like the woman...
I'd want to be video game Triss. Video game Triss be fine.
I'd want to be video game Yennefer.
Oh my god.
Sorry, that's just my type into a T. I'm going to go love, because freedom's great.
As we know, I like redheads who are bad for me.
Yeah. Which race do you feel most sympathy for?
Not the elves. They're dicks.
Well, that's the thing, is because, like, I can't remember what a dryad is.
They're the ones in the forest.
That's a lot of options.
The first series when the first season when Ciri goes into the forest, and there's all the like women around.
Well, they just seem like Amazons on Themyscira. They seem fun.
Yeah, but they've been like driven like deep into the woods because of like humans.
Oh, well then them, I guess.
Yeah,
because they're not trying to kill people. Choose a song. Time of the Axe and Sword is now. Her sweet kiss, Toscani. Which I mean,
it's not hard.
I don't know, the song White Wolf's kind of cool. Just to be different, I'm going to do that. Who's your hero? Mom, dad, teacher, coach, friend. I'm
pretty sure I clicked no one.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing, is because, like, my parents are, like, just my parents. I mean, they've raised me well.
Hi,
and
Emily.
it's like,
Thank you for tuning in.
They're not necessarily heroes of mine. I've had heroes that were teachers or coaches, but I've kind of moved past that. I look up to my friends, but I don't idolize them like that, so I guess no one really. My hero is, to quote Matthew McConaughey, my hero is me in 10 years. I'm constantly trying to work my way to a better me. So.
My hero is a hit song by the band The Foo Fighters.
It's a great song, actually. What is it that motivates you? Perseverance, money, fascination, desire for power? Fascination. Yeah, I'm very interested in a lot of things.
I said perseverance for that one.
Yeah, and I want to learn as much as I can about the world. Choose some colored contacts. Purple, green, yellow, blue. Well, I already have blue eyes, so yellow would be pretty sick because I love the look of
I like
wolves.
my eyes like shift, and sometimes they're green. I don't know what they are right now, but
really?
Sometimes they're green, and I really like it when they're green.
I literally want an American Alsatian because I want a dog with yellow eyes because the more it looks like a wolf, the more I'm in it. It just is sick. It's been a long day. How do you relax? With my feet up and drink in hand, see the day out with friends and good food, sleep lots of it, as comfortable and civilized people. It's been a long day. Sleep. I am tired, man.
I was gonna say with my feet up and a drink in hand, and then I realized that 4 out of 7 nights of the week I am at the bar.
Really?
What? Who'd you get?
I got Geralt.
Same. We had very different answers.
We did.
Like,
you're one of a kind, the last of a disappearing race. You are
white people.
And you are I am vehemently saying no comment on that.
Okay, the joke was right there, though. Like, it was so easy.
Vehemently. You're unpredictable. You shrug at lesser mortals when you're playing in a higher league. You're an outcast, but you enjoy it that way. Monsters don't hide in the daisies. You get your hands dirty. You're a person with few words, and as a result, people often assume you're uninteresting in anything or uninterested in anything. But you're protective of those who support you, and you can't help but follow your strong moral compass. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Outside of this show and a couple of the other things I do on the internet, I'm becoming increasingly more quiet as a person, even more so than I was prior. And I'm fully okay with that.
They said do a different quiz. This one's jank.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let me see if I can find one.
I mean, we could do the BuzzFeed one.
Yeah, let's just do the BuzzFeed one. It's probably going to suck, but... Alright. Oh, boy. Where are you spending most of your time?
Go pretty boy, yay!
In a tavern. Duh.
Is this the
BuzzFeed one?
Okay.
Choose a companion. Alright, listen, like, I think Yaskier would be fun, but the Witcher Brotherhood would be, like, so much more useful.
I'm not gonna lie, Kaer Morhen is just so cool.
Yeah.
So, choose a companion. Ciri, Kaer, Yen, Yaskier, Geralt.
I feel like Geralt's the obvious option there. Like, what's your getup? Armor all the time. The armor all the time one is from Lord of the Rings.
Pick somebody to train you. Vesemir, Geralt. Yen. I mean, Geralt.
Something easy to move
one.
in.
What's your getup? Armor all the time. Finest threads. Something easy to move in. A leather tailcoat.
I'm noticing far more similarities between myself and Mattis than I am comfortable with. Trust me, buddy, it doesn't get better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I did. Yeah, obviously.
What's your profession? Bard, advisor in court, hunter, alchemist, historian. Okay, well, I don't even get to choose there because that is legitimately my profession.
Yep.
Choose an eye color. Green.
Less people better. Choose an eye color.
What powers do you have?
I'm sorry, I had to.
Artistic flair. I do have a flair for the dramatic. Pick a monster to defeat.
I mean, this you just get to... I'll say healing because that's pretty cool. Leshy, monolithic monster. Some kind of Chernobog.
I'm taking on the Leshy. There's just something about fighting an embodiment of a tree. I've had trees do a lot of damage to my body over the years. I want to do damage to one of them.
Right, okay. I'm going to go with the Chernobog because it just sounds like Chernobyl and I like that.
What are you eating most nights?
Wild boar, whatever I can find. Cooked on the fire. Lambert stew. Take a liquor dinner.
Stew. Stew every time.
I don't know. I like meat, so I'm going to go the boar.
Choose a soulmate. See, this is difficult because, like...
Easy.
Who'd you pick?
Yen.
Well, see, I'm between Triss and Yaskier, which is difficult for me because I'm a straight guy.
That is an interesting one.
I just feel like if I had to spend the rest of my life with one person on this list...
Yeah. Yen. Easy for me. You're certainly a strong...
I'm going Triss.
Alright, let's see what you get.
I got Vesemir.
I got Geralt.
That makes sense. I kind of trained you.
Yeah. To some extent. At least in the history of things.
In the lore.
Yeah. Read yours.
Let's be honest, you're one smart cookie. In a spot, you're always there for the people who need you most. People come to you for your wisdom, but they stay for your charm and your outgoing nature. That one feels accurate, actually.
Yeah, it does. Well, let's see if mine's accurate. You're certainly a strong and resilient person. You don't need many words to express yourself. You have a cool exterior, and everyone notices you when you walk into a room. I don't know that's no. You deserve to have fables be written about you. Also, no.
I'll write some fables about you.
Sure, why not? I mean, well, if we think about this weekend, I was pretty quiet compared to most of the other people in the room. So
listen, Rebecca, you are in timeout.
All All right, let's do one more just to see if we get fucking Geralt again.
Dude, Saturday night was like, whew, that was a good time. I had a great time Saturday night.
Oh, it was a good time. What?
My MacBook is like simply not.
I'm noticing far more similarities. Yeah.
What are you?
I called Mattis getting Vesemir. Yeah, you did. We'll do one more just to make sure that.
Want to do the Zimbio one?
Sure. Just to make sure that I'm worthy of wearing this necklace. Begin game.
Okay. All right.
Who's your hero? I would say another relative, teacher, because friend, celebrity, historical figure. Historical figure. Choose your weapon.
Sword?
Yellow. Sorry, I think it's cool. I like wolves. Wait. No. I didn't. I gotta restart this quiz because I somehow clicked a.
Do you forgive or forget? That's funny because the first song I ever wrote and performed was called "Forgive and Forget."
Was it really?
Yeah. It was about my my first ex-girlfriend.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you forgive or forget? Both.
I'd say I forget, but I don't always forgive.
I pretty much consistently forgive, and I usually forget.
Are you a rebel? I don't know. Ask the IRS. Have you seen The Witcher? Yes. Who do you obsess over? Really. Celebrities? Nah. Royalty? No. Friends? No. Yes. Exes? I wish I could say no to that one, but I do have a tendency to get in my feels. I saw a tweet today that was like, who are some good female photographers? And I got in my bag immediately because of Jess.
I guess
Jess, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
I guess I kind of have to say celebrities because of the whole John Mayer thing. So,
is this a witch from The Witcher? No, I don't think so. That looked like way too 90s.
No. Yeah.
Are you always busy? Yes. What's this thing? That looks like it's...
No, that's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Do you believe in destiny? No.
We're here for a reason. Monster is under your bed. You run. I don't know what the fuck the monster is.
Fuck it, I'll throw food at it. Maybe it's just hungry, as long as it's eating something that's not me.
Choose a Disney movie. Okay, can we talk about the trauma caused by the Black Cauldron?
I've never even heard of it until right now.
Oh, it is a traumatic experience. That should not have been a children's movie.
Really?
No, I'm going with oh shoot, this is hard. Okay, so here's the thing, like the soundtrack wise, Mulan. Wholesomeness, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Historical value, Pocahontas. What the fuck factor, Black Cauldron.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm going with Black Cauldron.
I'm going to go Mulan because it's the one I remember the most of, because I haven't seen any of these movies since I was a kid.
Where would we find you at a party?
Combo, but mainly inside.
Mingling. Choose a hair color. Brown.
If I had the option.
What was the question?
I'd be hiding a bedroom if I had the option.
Are you married?
Choose a hair color. I mean, I'm not gonna do the Geralt baiting one and say white, because if I had black hair, I'd be really happy because blue eyes, black hair. That's all I've ever wanted.
Evil is evil.
Are you married?
Correct.
No.
Oh, I don't like that one.
Not very. Do you prefer your own bed always? I can sleep anywhere.
That's what I said.
Evil is evil. People can change. Geralt again!
I got Queen Calanthe. I just... I mean, listen, it's not a bad one.
Yeah.
Just, it's not what I would have anticipated,
That's kind of a sick one to get, though.
Yeah, battle-worn and tireless, you're a fearless leader who suffers no fools. You can see the big picture and it ain't pretty. Life can grab a hold and never let go when you're royalty. Life is duty. You have many responsibilities and little time for fun.
And you guys know this Geralt one, I definitely wasn't Geralt baiting. I did my own thing.
He did.
You're a rare one, the last of a dying breed. You cannot be stopped. Playing in a higher league, you shrug at lesser mortals. They make Geralt sound like such an ass. He's really not that, elitist. You're a loner, but you like it that way. Monsters don't hide in the daisies. You get your hands dirty. I mean, yeah, I kind of... The older I get, the more...
Oh, yeah. No, but is 100%. Disney Dark Age was... Oh my God. There was a period where Disney was just making, very aggressive movies, but they were still children's movies. They just shouldn't have been. Yeah. Anything from the 80s or early 90s was just meant to scar you.
Yeah, that's fair. Beck, there's something about dyeing my hair that it just feels fake, so I don't want to do it. Like, for some reason, I've always had this, like, just innate instinct in me that, like, I shouldn't, or I'm not allowed to, like, modify myself in ways that aren't just natural, because it's, I don't know. I feel like it's me lying to people.
Wait, The Last Unicorn's another good point. Like, oh my god.
Yes, I have. Thank you, guys. Apparently it was made in 1982. Yeah, should I watch that? Because I've literally never heard of
The Last Unicorn? You should watch The Last Unicorn, The Black Cauldron, and Ferngully. Ferngully.
Just text me these. I'm not going to remember.
Okay. If anyone in chat has seen Ferngully, oh boy, is it a concept of a film.
Interesting.
Ferngully, The Last Forest. It's an anti-deforestation propaganda movie told from the perspective of forest fairies.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. You called Becca fake.
Becca, I didn't call you fake. I'm saying that's something about me personally. I don't mind when other people do it. I actually like certain colors that certain like.
Aiden, is there anything about you that's real?
No, my tits.
I was hoping you would say it.
Yeah, no, it's just for me in particular. I just have this innate like inability to do anything that seems like I'm falsifying myself. For other, and that's the thing is like for other people, I totally see it as like a lot of people see it for themselves as releasing their inner selves, and I totally respect that. But for me, it just that doesn't equate for me.
I like to release my inner self in the potty.
Wow,
Aiden, you've offended most of the chat.
Yeah, sorry guys. That's just my thing. Like
did you just assume their genders?
Man, I'm really just getting canceled tonight. Aren't I? Wow.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Thankfully for me, Mom Millennial was really bad at canceling people.
Yeah, fair.
Like, good God.
Hexes.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
That's a good point. The whole thing is just... Whew. Last Rainforest, my bad.
Hercules was a fun movie. I like that. The Disney one.
Yeah. We watched that at After Prom one year.
Did you?
Yeah, my senior prom.
Might be largely for Megara, but we'll put that aside.
I was not the one that picked it. Joke's on you, I have all the genders. Oh god, she's gonna do the snap.
Huh?
The Infinity Stone snap.
Oh.
When you've collected all the genders.
If that's not a meme somewhere, it needs
Collect all the genders, you snap, and half of them disappear.
No, all the straight people disappear.
Oh god.
Oh,
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
That's a great movie idea right there.
What?
Somebody who like collects all the genders.
Avengers
snaps,
and gay?
No, and straight. So it's like they like collect all the gender like stones, and then it gets rid of all the straight people, and then all of the.
This is absolutely something
party.
Mel Brooks would have made.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious. I'd watch that. Pretty boy, I still love you, but my hair dye is the only thing holding my mental state together. Fair enough, man.
Fair enough.
I dig dyed hair, guys, just not on me. But yeah.
That's why he had so much trouble focusing during the podcast while I had blonde hair. He was just like so deeply attracted to me.
Even more so than usual.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's 8:43. We're closing.
Oh yeah, we're closing in. If anybody has any final questions or an idea for the $750 donation goal, since I can't think of one, drop them now or forever hold your peace. And by forever, I mean for the next week or so.
Be reasonable. Where do you think non-gender people's genders came from? Fair enough. I've gone through the rainbow and back again.
The reason that non-binary people exist is because the other LGBTQ people stole their gender. When you're transgender, you don't actually like just transition. You keep your old one. You have to take someone else's. There's now the lore.
I was gonna say there's a lot of lore here apparently that I was unaware of. I'm friends with a lot of like non-traditional sexuality people, but I don't.
I seem to have a type of gravity around me that attracts bisexuals.
Yeah, but the point I was getting to is like, but I don't know a lot of the lore of it. They just tell me they are, and I'm like, all right, cool. I don't really ask much further about it. I mean, well, Becca, you've explained Ace to me on a number of occasions, just because, details.
I have incorrectly pronouncing things / different accent already as 250. Member for 3 months. Oh, yeah, you can just send free super chats. I forgot about that.
750 gold, either
toss a coin or burn butcher burn cover.
Oh, that's fun.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Yeah,
we'll do both.
Sure.
We'll do both for 750.
Now I gotta learn stuff, guys. That's fine. I don't mind it. I literally made a list the other day.
What are your thoughts on Watership Down? Oh my god. It's just bringing back all of these memories of horrifying 80s and 90s children's movies. Watership Down is basically about a bunch of rabbits that get slaughtered. Yeah.
Might as well just watch, like... What is that movie? Oh, no, that's dogs. What is it, the one where it's look at the flowers? And he has to kill the dude? Because he, accidentally, killed the girl.
Oh, of Mice and Men.
That's it. Yeah. Still haven't seen or read that movie. Book. Seen the movie, read the book.
Did you go to high school?
Yeah, we read, a lot of... Shakespeare and other random things that were a little bit more of the times.
I do enjoy the good Shakespussy. He's just leaving. Wait, he's coming back around. He went for a lap.
I just needed to take a lap on that one. Anyway.
Do you not remember this conversation from Saturday night?
Oh,
where Mandy and I were just on a roll.
That was not what I expected.
I loved Land Before Time.
Land Before Time was fun. I just thought that was it had killed it that night. But no. I guess it
The
like
The
Walking on. Dead, it seems to go on forever. Although apparently they're in their last season. I stopped watching 8 years ago.
You really can't make jokes about The Walking Dead while being a Supernatural fan.
Why?
Because Supernatural went about 10 seasons longer than it should have.
There was still good seasons. I haven't watched The Walking Dead since literally season 4
I don't think
5.
the cost-benefit analysis works on your favor here.
Yeah, but are any of the other seasons good?
Our high school was censored.
Well, that's...
In high school, we learned redacted.
Oh, yeah. Our high school was censored. I mean, we had some good books in high school, Becca. I think so.
Aiden, please, is an English major that physically pained me. What pained you? Him not having read Of Mice and Men, or me saying Shakes Pussy?
I'm gonna guess.
Because honestly, both of those could do it.
Fair. What did I read that I liked? We read Ethan Frome. We read
Shawsissy.
We did read Frankenstein.
Mary Shawsissy.
We didn't read any Dickens.
Dickussy?
Yeah, I was wondering what you were going to do with that one.
That's a bad one.
Yeah.
What
did we read? Becca, what was your favorite that we read? I didn't read The Scarlet Letter. I can't remember if you did.
I had to read Things Fall Apart twice.
Oh, I read it once in high school.
I had to read it twice.
Why?
Because we read it for World Lit and also European Lit.
Yeah.
Why did we read a book about Africa written by an African person for European Lit? I do not know.
If you wanna understand my high school, we had to read The Judgment of Caesar going into 9th grade.
I mean, to be fair, we were reading Julius Caesar by Shakespeare in 6th grade. But that was at USP. Yeah. Which was...
It wasn't necessarily...
It was the Shakespeare thing, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily about hardness level. It was more along the lines of, why would...
No, Rebecca, I did not know that Ducky's dad murdered her siblings and mom. What?
No. Well... Yeah, Ducky... Yeah. Wait, hang on. Yeah, I knew that story. It's really sad, actually. No, it's not about the actress.
Oh, the actress. I thought you meant the...
No.
All right, well, that's fine.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Jesus.
Woo!
Go on, cut me some slack.
No, it just caught me off guard. You know, the little, the girl who played Ducky.
Yeah, I knew that.
She was in a number of things, and her dad just got, like, jealous of the fact that she was famous and he wasn't. And then he just lost his shit. It was really sad, actually.
I need to make some calls. I have a lot of family members.
Took me a second. For a second, for some reason, I thought you were making an American Psycho reference. Because the way you enunciated, I was like, I need to make some calls.
Yeah, true.
Like, I need to return some videotapes. Judith Barcy, yep.
I like how that was his excuse for everything in that movie, was I need to return some videotapes, as if that's a time-sensitive matter.
It is. Schindler's List was a good movie.
You know, no, instead of incorrectly pronouncing every word, we should do the entire podcast as, what's his name? Patrick Bateman?
But would the class enjoy that?
I don't know. I think that they might. You see, our 33rd episode is really where we really came into our own.
Yeah, the audio and visual quality really took an upturn, especially with the inclusion of the display capture. Hey, Mattis! You like lore?
Jeez.
Let's see Isaiah's thumbnail.
Oh my god.
Oh. Anyway.
I just don't have a response at this point.
We've lost our minds.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you do an internet show for over almost been a year.
Okay, so for P.O. Box things, that's a good question. For P.O. Box things, you can address it to me or to the Lore Lodge.
I can start putting the P.O. Box address in the descriptions of the
That
videos.
would be great as well. The paper's in the other room. We can do that after this.
Wunderbar.
But yeah, so that will be,
where's the thing?
I'd say to be safe, address it to me.
Where's the thing from Dobby?
Oh!
I keep forgetting to ask you until I'm here.
It's in my bedroom. I'll grab it I'll grab it after the stream. Cool. One of our former podcast guests sent us some nice little stuff.
Yeah, it was very sweet, very unexpected, and I'm very grateful.
Yeah, but anyway, I think that is time.
Yeah.
Time to end the show. Thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you very much.
Next week we will have a guest. We will have Swamp Dweller, who narrates submitted, supposedly true scary stories on YouTube. And then we will also have Mini Man back on soon. And, I mean, probably also Wendigoon.
Yeah.
Because he's just becoming a regular guest at this point.
It's fun.
Yeah. I will take Archie out of timeout really quick.
The Great Gatsby just is... It has whole new meanings beyond high school. Beck, I can fill you in on that later. Was he nasty in there?
He was not nasty in there.
Good.
He was nasty in my bedroom.
Yeah. That's not a euphemism. He just...
No, he just pooped on my bedroom floor.
Several times.
Well, it wasn't really several times. He just kind of tends to walk around in a circle.
Yeah, but that was so much for his size.
It's true. He does have a lot in the tank.
He just is the tank, apparently. Good lord.
Come here. Good boy. Where are you going? What are you doing?
You also do a scary campfire story stream in the woods. Yeah, we can do that.
How are we going to stream it?
I don't know. TikTok?
Sure. We just need, service.
Yeah. Most woods are not hard to find service. True. Yep. Well, the boy's here.
The boy's here.
Amusement.
Figured y'all would want to see him before the end of the show.
Enjoyment.
He's right here. He's vibing.
I'm looking forward to going home and going to bed.
Yes, that's understandable. I'm looking forward to going to bed as well.
I need to cut down the amount of things I do in the week.
I need to work out tomorrow. All right. Thanks for stopping by the Lore Lodge, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you as well. What?
That okay. You can see how tired we are. Good night, guys.